Okay, so I just finished this problem. Let's go on to the next one. So here we are. Looks super duper scary. Okay. But we can still do it. So my suggestion, the first thing we need to do is least common denominator. And so my suggestion is take all the bottoms and multiply them together. Then we need to figure out the domain. And to do the domain, then you set the denominator, our least common denominator, equal to 0. And so when we do that, we're going to set each of these factors equal to 0. 4 equals 0, t plus 2 equals 0, t minus 1 equals 0. So in nowhere ever does 4 equal 0. So we ignore them. And then here we're going to subtract 2 on both sides. And then here we'll add 1 on both sides. Okay. So what this really means is t cannot equal -2 or 1. So if we get either of these answers, then we got a little tiny hiccup. Alrighty. So now we need to take our least common denominator. Okay, we're going to take that guy, multiply it by everything. Okay, and when we do that, I write so big. Okay, if you want to pause this to get the domain information, do that. I'm going to write t cannot equal -2 or 1. And then I'm going to delete this because I need the space. Because we're very big. All right. So we have 5/4 minus -1 over t plus 2 equals. So what we're doing here, I feel like I should explain a little bit, is, I wasn't very clear earlier, is I'm multiplying this guy on the top and the bottom. All right, because when I multiply it by the top and the bottom, I'm getting when you multiply by 1, it doesn't change anything. And so when I multiply the top and the bottom by 4x minus 2, then I'm really just multiplying by 1. So it's just like inflating something. It's just making it bigger. So here we are. Equals. So we have that t minus 1, 1. All right, so I'm going to do this one slightly different because I want to just show you a different, just a slightly different way. If it helps you, great. If it doesn't, go back to the other way. All right, so I need this bottom to read t plus 2, 4t plus 2 t minus 1. So 4t plus 2 t minus 1. So what I added was t plus 2 t minus 1. On this guy, I need it to read 4t plus 2 t minus 1. So what I added was a 4 and then a t minus 1. On here, I needed it to read 4 t plus 2 t minus 1. So I need to add a 4 t plus 2. All right, so since everything here has the same bottom, it kind of like deletes. So it's like in the same family, and it just deletes. The same logic as before from that previous problem. So what I have left with is 5 t plus 2 t minus 1 minus 1 times 4 is 4 t minus 1 equals 1 times 4 is 4 t plus 2. Okay, when everything has the exact same bottom, it deletes. Okay, it goes away. And the reason is a little bit complicated just for a short little video, but just trust me. Okay, and the same logic applies like over here. Hang on. Come up, baby. Okay, like when we multiplied everything by 4x over 2, 4x minus 2, then the stuff like canceled. And so all we had left was the stuff we were missing. And so the stuff we were missing was this x minus 2. Over here we were missing a 4, and over here we were missing like a 4. And so you can either multiply everything by the denominator, top and bottom, and then stuff cancels. Or you can figure out what's missing in the denominator. Don't cancel it, because when you cancel it, you're going to end up exactly back right here. You're going to cancel the denominator since everything is the exact same and they're a level like playing field. All right, so what we need to do is we need to distribute all of this. And so I'm going to FOIL this. And so I get t squared plus 2t minus 2, all of that times 5, minus 4t plus 4. And the reason it's plus 4 is because it's a negative times a negative equals 4t plus 8. Okay, we're not going to get super nervous that it's so long because things are going to combine in just a minute. 5 times t, 5t squared plus 5 times 2 is 10t. 5 times negative t is negative 5t. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And then we have negative 4t plus 4 equals 4t plus 8. Okay, let me write that down because I'm going to finish it on the next slide. All right, so I'm going to go to this next slide. I'm going to write that step over. It's kind of long. 5t squared plus all right, so now we're going to combine like terms, and you stay on the same side of the equal sign. So, for example, t's can talk, and then the numbers can talk. Ah, still in highlighter mode, silly girl. 5t squared. So 10t minus 5t is 5t. 5t minus 4t is 1t. And then negative 10 and 4 is negative 6 equals 4t plus 8. All right, remember when you have like a squared term and a regular term, you need to move it all to the other side. So I'm going to move this 4t, and I'm going to move this 8. And when I do, these guys cancel, and I get 0. So 5t squared. Negative 4t and negative t is negative 5t. Negative 6 and negative 8 is negative 14. Alrighty, so we have a 5t squared minus 5t minus 14 equals 0. And so we're going to have to factor that. Okay, so this one's kind of hard to factor because there's a number right there. Okay, so in order to do that, let me change colors. We're going to do 5 times negative 14. I don't know what that is. I need a calculator. Negative 70. 70. That's a 70. All right. So we need to figure out multiplies to give us negative 70. Adds to give us negative 5. Oh my goodness. I don't even know. Hang on. I'm trying some stuff out. Hang on. All right, let's see. 1 times 70, 2 times 35, 3-0, 4-0, 5 and 14, 6, 7 and 10, 8. I need a 5. Alright, let me think. Let me pause the video and I'll think. I'll come right back. Okay, I figured out the problem, and you may have figured it out before me. The problem was here. Let's get a bright red. It was right here. 10 minus 5 is positive 5. Positive 5 minus 4 is a positive t. And a positive t minus 4t is a negative 3t. So this needs to be negative 3. Okay, so everybody makes mistakes, including me. I was a BC student in math. It was just something I liked and never gave up. All right, so sorry for all that confusion. So the numbers that work are 10 and 7. We need a negative, come on. I am full of this today. Here's the deal. 10, 7. All right, the 3 is negative, so the 10 has to be negative. So what we have is 5t squared minus 10 plus t plus 17 minus 14 equals 0. Notice we have 5t squared from here. That should have a squared on it. That should have a squared on it. Then we have the negative 10t from here, 7t from here, negative 14 from here. So that's why I get all those numbers. All right, now we need to factor. And so we're going to factor by grouping. And so they have a 5t in common. So there's a t minus 2 left over. And so this has to be t minus 2. And so 7 divided by t, there's, you pulled a 7 out. So for here, I looked at this guy. And so I did 5t squared and 10t, I took out a 5. And the leftover was a t minus 2. And these guys, these things in parentheses, these quantities have to match. So 17 and 14, you can take out a 7. And so what's left here is 7t divided by 7 is just a t. And 14 divided by 7 is a 2. So what I have is 5t plus 7, t minus 2 equals 0. And so those are my factors, and I need to set each factor equal to 0. And so t minus 2 equals 0. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I get 2. Here, I'm going to subtract 7, and then I'm going to divide by 5. So what I get is negative 7 over 5. And I get positive 2 as my 2 answers when I set each of the factors equal to 0. Now let's check the domain. The domain that we got was can equal negative 2, can equal positive 1. And we got can equal negative 2, can equal positive 1. We got positive 2, not negative 2, so that one's all good in the hood. And we got negative 7 over 5. That one's all good in the hood. All right, so those are our final answers. This guy and this guy. So we got 2 answers. That one was a beast. All right, so I have another problem I want to do. I know these take a long time. There's not that many in your homework. Let's do one more problem in the next video.